What's going on, guys? It's Brett Pro Angel here, bringing you today another deck profile. If you guys have been following my Yu-Gi-Oh journey on my channel, basically we've been diving into Drytron quite a bit with some deck profiles, some live matches, some combo tutorials, but I actually just wanted to dive back into my current build for you guys today. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's just dive into it. We got, of course, 3 Ben 10. This card is the most important card of the deck. If this card probably will get hit, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think this card, the chances of it going to 1 is very, very possible. But if we get the new XZ monster, it doesn't matter if Ben 10 goes to 1 because you can still just abuse 1 Ben 10. So that's it for that. And then the next, we got 1 Herald of the Ultimateness and 1 Natasha. Natasha is still like MVP. She enables you to just win games that you shouldn't win. Ultimateness, I've been gravitating. I know I've really been big about the ruler combo, but now that I know how to do the Herald combo, making Herald before you even go into Union Carry, it's just too good not to just try to go for the Herald combo. Next, we have our Drytrons. We got 3 Alpha Thuban. This is the best Drytron of the deck. This gets you to your ritual monsters. It's very important to do this. Alpha, you have to max out on it. Hopefully this card doesn't get hit anytime soon because it would hinder the deck. But yeah, so that's it for that. And then next, of course, we got 3 Zeta. Zeta is equally as important as Alpha, in my opinion. Some people cutting Zeta down to 2, which I get because it kind of sucks opening 2 Zetas. But in my theology, it's like if I open Alpha and Zeta, I feel like I just win. If they don't have hand traps, then that's just game. So that's it for that. And then my other Drytrons, we have 1 Delta. And then this is where I've made some changes because I'm only running 1 Delta and then I'm running 2 Gamma now. Gamma is just so important because if you get Cycle Readered on your first Gamma, they're not expecting you to have a second one. And when you just bring out that second one with like Nova or whatever, then that second Gamma just comes into play. Delta is just good for a free draw. You can get by with having 1. I don't feel the need to have more than 1 Delta. It's so good just for a free draw, but it's like you can just use it every turn. So it's like you really only need 1. Yeah, just 1 Delta. All right, now we're going to move on to our fairies. We have 3 Herald of the Orange Lights. This is probably not going to change anytime soon. Herald of the Orange Light is just so important, especially because they're alti. Just kidding. But no, this card is just like really, really good. This lets you play through hand traps. I'm pretty sure if you've been following already, you know what this card's all about. And next we have 1 Eva and 1 Cyber Petite Angel. These cards are so important. I thought about running 2 Petites only because this gets you to Ben 10. If Ben 10 goes to 1, then you almost have to run 2 of this. Eva, I also thought about running 2 Eva only because it's such a powerful utility card, and I think it's just so important to facilitate all your plays. And then, of course, we got all the 1 of. And these are kind of bricks other than Manju. Okay, so of course we got, our Vanity's Ruler. A lot of people are cutting this because they're going for the Herald play, which I totally understand why they would do that. But at the same time, just having Ruler game 1, you basically just win the match or win the game. Manju just enables you to go into Herald before you even go into Union Carry, because just searching Manju off Ben 10 instead of another Ben 10, this just lets you search your Herald, and then you could just go into Union Carry if you have a Drytron. And then, of course, the Dawn Knight. I don't need to talk much about this. This is just a brick of the deck, but it does come up in a lot of instances. So, yeah, there's that. And then I feel like Drytron is so important to have hand traps. You literally have to have hand traps. So we run 1 Droll and then 2 more. But yeah, no, so Droll, I'm choosing to go 3 Droll. I'm just going to actually just do this for you guys. So we got Droll. I'm just going to show you display my hand trap lineup. And then we got 2 Lancia and 2 Ash. Now, I just kind of want to explain what this is here. So a lot of people are cutting Lancia, which, I agree in some instances. It's okay to cut. Basically, it's either 3 Droll or 3 Nibiru. That's like my theology behind it. Didn't want to cut Ash down to 1, but I feel like having equally a balance, like 2 Lancia, 2 Ash, is so important. I wouldn't want to cut Droll down to 2 or 1, mainly because Droll is a level 1. So it's like, even if it's a dead card in your hand game 1, you can use it with another Drytron if you get hand trapped to death and then just make Zeus. So Droll does come up in this kind of deck, but at the same time, if you are playing a deck where Droll hurts them, then just seeing Droll and Lockbird in your opening hand just almost can just, it's a free win sometimes. Like, you can just win that game with ease. Just to explain Lancia a little bit, I think Lancia is just still so important. People are sideboarding like 1, like half the time. I still just see Lancia in the main board. That's just my theology, only because like Lancia just auto wins against certain decks. Like, this deck has a tough matchup against Dogmatica Invoked. Lancia can just hinder their plays so much to where they just have to rely on their Dogmatica stuff, and they don't get their Invoke stuff until next turn, and that just gives you a turn to just really bounce back. And so yeah, Lancia, not to mention, it also just beats Virtual World pretty hard. You can just keep searching this card. If you know you're playing against Virtual World, then Lancia just wins you the game. Not to mention Dinos. Lancia is just so powerful against them. Ash Blossom is just the best hand trap in the game. I keep flipping the MVPs back and forth, but I think Ash is definitely deserving of it, because Ash, she just gets around like Red Eyes Fusion. She gets around stuff that she shouldn't get around. And it's just such a powerful... Ash can just stop a Dragoon from coming out by hitting Red Eyes Fusion. I just think that alone is so powerful. So that's my hand traps. You have to have hand traps in Drytron. Like, it's so important. If you don't have hand traps, then what are you doing? All right, so next we got the spells. We run 3 Nova. I wouldn't cut this down to 2 just yet, because just opening Nova ensures that you can play through Droll. Like, and that's so important. You want to be able to play through Droll in this deck. Playing through Droll just means that you can, do more things and not just lose to 1 card. And so opening Nova, or just having Fafnir and searching Nova to bait out the Droll, that just lets you play through it with Nova. I mean, granted, like, you might have to end on Fucho Pass, but like, it saves you for a turn, and you could just bounce back and save some resources. All right, next we got 3 Cyber Emergency. This card is so important. It's just a free Rhoda for Drytrons. Like, you literally just search your Drytrons very easily with this card. Like, I don't see the point of like cutting this down to 2. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I think Fafnir would be the first one I would cut down to 2. So without further ado, we'll just continue. And then next, of course, as I was just mentioning, we run the 2 Fafnir. I cut Fafnir down to 2 against my own free will and accord, mainly because we also had to fit in 2 of the pot card. The pot card is just so good. The pot card just enables you to dig through your deck for your combo pieces. So if you don't open up full combo, but you open up the pot card and one other card that can get you there, the pot card can just help you go to full combo. Or if you're siding game 2, if you win game 1, the pot card can just enable you to break your opponent's board a lot easier. And then, of course, we have the 1 Meteonis. I thought about upping this to 2, but only running the second in the side deck. But you need your side deck cards so much more importantly. So yeah, that's my theology on that. This new pot card just makes you win the game. This card literally is so dumb. If you didn't win already going first, this just enables you to further go hard. All right, next we got the extra deck. So I'm going to start off with all the weenie monsters. So we got Linkuriboh, we got Relinquish Anima, we have Herald of the Mirage Light, we have IP, and Union Carrier. These are our utility cards that make us go full combo. Like Linkuriboh and Anima just get you to Carrier, okay? A lot of times you're able to just end on Herald with IP to go into Unicorn, or you could end with Herald and Herald of Mirage Lights to recycle your cards. But other than that, I just think none of these cards are worth cutting. I really am not a fan of this card, but I know why it's so important to have, especially if you get hand trapped to death. This card is so important. All right, next we have our nightmare cards. We run one Cerberus, one Phoenix, and one Unicorn. Basically, Unicorn is the MVP because it's a collector's rare. Just kidding. But Cerberus is a free out for Zeus. If they slip up and they don't summon it in the extra monster zone, you can just out their Zeus very easily. Phoenix is just very good. Like, it's just such a good utility card. It comes up so many times. And then Unicorn, of course, is for your IP combo. You could pitch Ava and then just, bounce their card to their deck and then just use Ava's effect. These cards just synergize so well with each other. And then we have the bosses, Access Code, and Boral Sword. I actually, against my own free will and accord, actually had to cut Appaloosa as well. In the last deck profile, I was running Appaloosa. The reason why I made this change, in case all of you are wondering, because some of you probably still run it, basically, I decided to have utility cards over Appaloosa because this deck is very prone to getting hand trapped. You get hand trapped very, very easy, and Appaloosa doesn't do anything for you if you get hand trapped. But if you have a card like Cerberus, this card can help you like play through. I actually cut Appaloosa for Cerberus because it's a very good utility card. I could just have two monsters on the field and then I can out a problematic card instead of just having a dead Appaloosa in my extra deck. So yeah, that's my theology behind that. I hope it kind of makes sense to you guys. Next, we're moving on to the XZ monsters. We have one Fucho and one Nightingale. A lot of people are cutting Fucho. I think that's just a terrible idea because worst case scenario, the other day at locals, I had a guy, literally, he knew what Fucho did, and he literally just did not attack it, and I still had two materials, and I was able to just Fucho attack into his monster and detach Zeus to protect him, and then I went into Zeus, and I was able to just clean up the whole board, and he didn't have an out to it. And then Nightingale, of course, is just so good because she can just attack directly twice and then just overlay for Zeus. And then that brings us to the next cards. We have one Downward Magician. And yes, guys, yes, you guys might cringe, but I think this is so powerful. We run double Zeus. Okay, people don't like this, and I have to explain why. I think Zeus is such a powerful utility card as well because it's so easy to bring out, and if you get hand trapped to death and you're just forced to just use your you're able to get monsters on board, but you don't have very strong plays, you could just go into like, you know, a Fucho. The other day in the tournament, I went into Fucho first before Nightingale and attacked directly, but he didn't have any monsters on the field, so I just was like trying to play around like anything like punishment or anything like that, which I mean, I know Nightingale is still pretty good in that retrospect as well, but it's just like the important part here is I was able to save my Nightingale for later. And then I overlaid for Zeus, was able to just clean up the back row. And then later on in the game, it actually won me the game having that Nightingale and then dropping the second Zeus. So it comes up more times than you would actually imagine. And I think I'll actually do you guys a solid and we'll just go into the side deck. So I'm just going to do this a little bit differently. All right, so the side deck, we run 3 Nib. We run 1 Lancia. We run 2 Meister. Meister's just a very powerful card. And then we run 2 Droplets. We run 2 Dark Ruler No More. We run 2 Lightning Storm. We run 1 Duster, 1 Cosmic, and a Red Reboot. Okay, so just to give you guys a quick explanation of what this is here, it's either 3 Droll or 3 Nib in the main board. And I decided to go with Droll because Droll ends games faster than Nib does right now. But Nib is just so powerful. Like if you play against Prank Kids or something like that, you just stop everything and you just proceed to win. So that's why 3 Nib in the side deck is so important. This right here is just a 3rd Lancia. I think it's very important to have that. You don't want to just have 2 because if you do play against something like Dinos, you want to see that Lancia in your opening hand. Also, Meister, I chose to go with Meister over Bell only because he don't care about chain blocks. Like Meister, literally, I had a hard matchup against Shadal recently, and Meister is the MVP. If I had Bell in those situations, I would have lost. And then Forbidden Droplet, this card, like, you don't even need to explain this. This just outs so many powerful cards. It's good in the mirror match. If they don't have Chuche in Virtual World, you could just out their VFD very easily. Dark Ruler No More, a lot of people are waiting to activate their VFD and or Zexal, and then you just Dark Ruler No More them. Lightning Storm, a lot of people might not agree with this, but I think Lightning Storm is just very powerful right now because of the release of the new pot card. Extra deck cards like Dark Ruler No More is just powerful right now because if you really think about it, all right, let's say you just auto win game 1. You won the dice roll and you just won. Okay, game 2, they go first. You know, like, you're just prepared for them to just pop off with some dumb stuff, okay? And you open the new pot card but nothing else, and you go pot card, Pot of Prosperity, and they don't negate it, and you can choose to Excavate 6 going second, and you could either fetch a Lightning Storm, you could fetch a Dark Ruler No More, fetch a Droplets, and they can't stop you because they let it resolve. Okay, so that means they're going to either have to, they can't stop this. So that's, you know, it's just so powerful. This new pot card just makes Lightning Storm so much better. And I don't know if you guys see it yet, but I feel like this is just going to see a spike. And then Duster, of course, is to take care of back row dependent decks. I do run one Cosmic. I run one. It might seem pointless just to run one, but it's actually very, it comes in handy because this one Cosmic just enables me to have like an out for like Schism. I could chain it to it, or, you know, like Mine. I have more outs for Mine, which I'm not centered around that, but it's just, you got to have at least one out. And also, Cosmic is just, if you draw 2 Cosmics in your hand, it's just such a bad feeling. So it's like one Cosmic is okay. I would rather, instead of that, like if I had Duster and Cosmic, I would feel so much better because then I could just Duster them, set Cosmic. But like opening 2 Cosmic is just terrible because you have to just set both. And then Red Reboot just ensures that you can like win against trap decks. This card, like if you got full combo and they have like a punishment and you reboot them, you can probably win that turn. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching. That does it for the deck profile. Make sure you check out the latest episode of my Yu-Gi-Oh journey. You know, we dived into a lot of stuff. I was on Virtual World over the weekend, but this coming weekend, we have something special to present to you. So I just want to thank you all for watching. This is Brett Pro Angel. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Just help me out, like the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to see more content, just hit that subscribe button. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching. This is Brett Pro Angel out.